Hey, what's up, everybody? It's just Charleston, and welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today we got a pretty interesting show for you guys here today that we definitely want you guys to stick around for. But before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel here. Now, today, man, we're going to be talking about Colin Cowherd. As y'all know, Colin Cowherd is one of the big wigs in sports media. He earns a lot of money a year, every single year for the work that he does. So he's well compensated, and he's a pretty big wig in the industry. Nevertheless, what I've noticed about Colin Cowherd over the years was that whenever given the opportunity, he would always find these very slick ways at taking shots at Michael Jordan. He started doing that originally when Fox Sports released FS1 started to make a run against ESPN, and on the show First Things First, I think at the time they had Jason Whitlock, kind of a rotating cast. You had Chris Broussard at various times, Jim Jackson, Steven Jackson from time to time, and Colin Cowherd, right? Colin Cowherd made some guest appearances, and at that time they were kind of debating back and forth between who's better, LeBron, Jordan, Kobe, all of that. They had a lot of those type of topics on there. And they were kind of going back and forth about that over the years. And I noticed that whenever it came time to talk about Jordan, Colin always found these kind of slick ways at taking shots at Michael Jordan. I'm like, yo, what's going on here? What's up with this guy? Why is he always trying to find a way to diss MJ? I didn't understand what his angle was. But it's something that he's slowly and quietly building a reputation of being a Michael Jordan hater, to be quite honest with you. And a lot of his arguments that he tries to make about MJ really has nothing to do with basketball. He relates it to off the court issues, etc., etc., etc. So this morning, a video was recommended to me from his platform there, the Volume, where he was talking about Michael Jordan. As y'all know, the recent report came out that Michael Jordan is looking to sell a majority of his stake in the Charlotte Hornets. So people in various shows were discussing that bit of news there. So when it came Colin Cowherd's time to discuss, to give his opinion on it, he just kind of went off the rails and just started taking these, just started attacking Jordan in a way that I really couldn't understand. So for those of you who didn't hear what he had to say, take a listen to what he had to say there, then we'll come back and react to his comments.
Apparently, I didn't spend too much time on the phone. I created quite a kerfuffle with my Michael Jordan opinion one day last week, and where I said, there's a lot of mythology about Michael Jordan because a lot of people 35 and under who love him never watched him actually play. It's just YouTube highlights. Something to remember about Michael Jordan is that, and it's very unique in the history of basketball. No other player has this. And Michael is certainly as good as anybody I've ever seen. Relentless, great in crisis, laser focused, super competitive, loved watching him play. I'm still a huge fan of Michael Jordan. But you can criticize Magic Johnson, who ended up in 30% more finals. And you can certainly criticize LeBron James, who has smashed every Michael Jordan record. But you can't criticize Michael. Why? Well, think about it in these terms. Think about how powerful just ads are on TV or radio. My career has been a series of reading ads or ads elevating all my platforms. They can sell us soda. They can sell us cars. They can sell us jewelry just by a 30-second ad. The Air Jordan campaign is the greatest marketing campaign in the history of our domestic sports. Ever. Any athlete. Nothing's close. Michael made $225 million last year still on his shoes. Just understand how powerful commercials are. And now, an Air Jordan campaign for 20 years devoted to one human. It's created a Teflon shield around Michael. So that when he punches Steve Kerr, he's just very competitive. If Draymond Green punches Jordan Poole, a cocky, trash-talking reserve, throw him out of the league. Draymond doesn't have the protective shield, the power of Nike. Michael Jordan, best friend Charles Barkley, 15 years. Barkley goes on the air, does his job, is critical. He ghosts him, no longer talks to him. Who does that? protective shield. Baseball, Wizards mess, failing as an owner, struggling with teammates early, pre-Phil Jackson. It's all protected. Nobody's saying, you can criticize LeBron, you can criticize Kareem, you can criticize anybody, Magic, Kobe, Duncan. You can't criticize Michael Jordan. That's why I call it mythology. It's as if he never missed a shot. He had lots of bad finals games, a couple against the Sonics, a couple against the Utah Jazz. He's human. Michael's always been great at elevating Michael. I said this last week, and I'll say it again, the two Phils. Phil Jackson, Michael, you're a selfish player. Do you want to win championships or be a scoring champ? Trust your teammates more. Phil Jackson, the smartest basketball coach of my entire lifetime, perhaps ever, probably ever. Michael understood that. That was the first Phil. The other Phil was Phil Knight, the number one visionary in American sports marketing in the history of my life. The two Phils. Now, give Jordan credit. He was glamorous. He was great. He was focused. He was capable of being coached if he respected you. So he deserves a lot of credit for that. I mean, people all over this country try to help people and they just won't listen. Michael listened and became probably the greatest basketball player ever when he started trusting teammates and winning championships.
So you heard what Colin Cowherd had to say there. Now, here are my thoughts on this. Colin has a lot of wacky basketball takes, at least from what I've heard. He's had some pretty obtuse, obscure, sometimes flat out confusing basketball takes. Sometimes he talks out of both sides of his mouth. I'll give you an example where he said Kobe Bryant was never the best player in the league. And then I pulled up an audio of him talking to Kobe Bryant, I believe it was in 2008 or 2009 on the phone, and basically saying, hey, Kobe Bryant on the phone saying, hey, Kobe, you know, somebody who's been the best player in the league for all these years, and then gets on TV, gets on his show and then says, Kobe was never the best player in the NBA. So he does a lot of wacky, kind of weird things. In terms of his criticism of Michael Jordan, like when he said, you know, Jordan would have been nothing without Scottie Pippen. Here's the thing. You could have pretty much replaced Scottie Pippen with almost any other all-star, and Jordan would have still won at least 5 NBA championships. That's number one. Number two, you're making it seem like Michael Jordan was just some dude that was totally inept at playing basketball. The fact of the matter is, for the majority of Michael Jordan's NBA career in the first 6 years or so, he didn't play with a single all-star on his roster. A single all-star. So how many players in the NBA would be successful without having at least one all-star? But the minute he got one all-star, at least one all-star, he started winning championships. That's number one. Number two, he's making it seem like as if, oh, Jordan was just this kind of guy just up there scoring. No, he wasn't. Jordan was the best two-way player probably from the beginning he came into the NBA towards the end of his career. The guy made what? He has 10 scoring titles, a Defensive Player of the Year award, and made 9 all-first defensive teams. Cut it out. Like, cut it out. Number three, I don't understand this blatant disrespect that some of these people are having for Jordan. The guy that really, if it wasn't for his contributions and those of Larry Bird and Michael Jordan, you guys wouldn't even have a platform to be making all that damn money talking about sports anyway. This is the part that kills me. A person that contributed that much to the sports world, that's who you guys are talking to like that? Talking about like that? Like really Jordan? And he talks about the fact that, you know, Jordan cannot be criticized. What world are these people live while he's sitting there criticizing Jordan, talking about Jordan cannot be criticized? Jordan gets criticized all the time. There's been this influx of people out there now saying that Michael Jordan is no longer the GOAT. Do you want me to list a few? I shall do that for you. Shannon Sharp, Nick Wright, Kendrick Perkins, Jay Williams. These are guys that are on major sports platforms. Major sports platforms. They basically have megaphones. Megaphones disseminating their views or propagating their views to the masses. And then those people get those views. They come to our channel and twerk it up all over the comment section, knocking over people's drinks to make their point. This is literally what happens. It's like a copy and paste job. They go there to listen to these guys. Then they come on our channel and they start posting about it. It's gotten to the point where it's so obnoxious these days that these jokers, I could post a video about how to barbecue a ribeye, and somebody will leave a comment under the video talking about, but what about what LeBron did back in 2015? I'm like, yo, bro, what is going on with you guys? This is these guys doing it. If it wasn't for Nick Wright, Shannon Sharp, a few others out there, nobody would be saying that LeBron is on Michael Jordan's level. Nobody never, nowhere said that. Nowhere ever it was said that. All the way up until probably 2014. It was only until these guys got on television and they gained their platforms, and then they started putting out these views in unison. In unison. And then over time, because I've noticed that a lot of LeBron fans, they don't do any research. They only research LeBron and research no one else. That's why we put up a poll on our channel when we asked the audience, hey, who do you think would win more championships if they play with Shaq? LeBron or Kobe? Somebody, LeBron. I'm like, look at these guys. They don't even understand this game. So to me, man, Colin Cowherd has no point. He has no point. He needs to stop hating on Michael Jordan. Go find a clown to hate on. How you going to hate on the best player of a particular sport? You pick the best one to hate on. Come on. These are my thoughts and opinions. Whatever you guys think, leave your thoughts in the comment section and we catch you on the next show.